Hey, good morning guys, Jake Darnett, Performance Racing. Today we are working on this 2017 GSXR1000. Basically, we're throwing it up here on the dyno. We're going to make some power out of it. A couple things we got to do. We got to install block-off plates on the bike for the customer, and that is so we get a correct air-to-fuel reading on the bike. And then we also got to install our O2 sensor so we know what our air-to-fuel is. And then we got to also hook up the harness. Wow, that's zoomed in really far. Hook up the harness on the ECU itself so we're able to flash it and make it faster and get rid of those horrible manufacturer Suzuki restrictions on the bike. All right, so we got the airbox off now, and basically we got to pull this thing out here. So this is your block off plate, so this is going to cover that, and this is your pair valve, and this goes to the bottom of your airbox, and basically this gets capped off with that little plug there, and then these plates replace those. So hopefully we'll be able to get this done real quick. All right, so we got the block off plates on here now, so they are in and installed, and we just gotta put the rest of this bike back together. In case you're wondering, this is the scope of work that we have to do, basically to either get to the ECU here or prep the bike so it's ready to be tuned. So in case you're wondering why it takes us forever. All right, so right now we just read the part and serial number off the ECU. So I'm gonna open a new one. Nice. All right, so we're in here now. We are going to enable the engine logging. Okay. We don't need to do pit speed limiter. We're not dealing with quick shifter. We do need to disable the front wheel speed sensor. EVAP fault codes, keeping that, disable that. We got rid of that thing, we got rid of that, and we got rid of that, so we don't need them. We're going to turn the fan on sooner, and we're not dealing with the pit speed limiter right now, and we're not changing the idle RPM. So we're going to go open limiters, and we're not going to, because he's not racing this bike competitively, we're not going to mess around with the RPM limiter. We are, however, going to get rid of that. So on our other maps, this is our electronic throttle valves, which control these things right here. And if we go, say, 5th gear, and we go look at the 3D graph, you can see that it just pulls the throttle away from you at around 10,000 RPM. And that's even in A mode, too. We're going to change some of our lower injector balance here later on, but I'm going to keep the stock. So basically, it's using 20% on the lowers and the other 80% on the upper injectors, but down in these high RPMs here, at high throttle position openings, it's basically brings it back. So later on we're going to get rid of that, but for the first run we're going to keep it as is. So first we're going to make sure we can write to the actual ECU, and then we're going to button everything up and put it on that thing. All right, we finally got this thing on the dyno. We got the computer hooked up. Well, it should be on, but it's not right now. So we're about to get it running, see what it makes. All right, just got done with the first runs of it. Updated a few fuel maps already. But anyway, from the factory, this thing's got a full M4 exhaust and an OEM air filter, making 155 on average horsepower. And as you can see what's happening, it's like losing a ton of power up here. But we're going to make that go away. Got done with our first run. Manny's here hanging out with us. As you can see, she's throwing some power down. This is before, that's where it's at. And we still got a bit of work to do. Waiting on the ECU to get done. That's kind of the before and after there. So, yeah, we're ready to make another pass here as soon as that ECU is done updating. All right, so we got our intake air pressure fuel maps updated, throttle position maps. So basically, it needs more fuel here, less fuel here, all that fun stuff. What else did we do? We adjusted the throttle position maps. So basically, it's opening up here instead of actually closing down. So blue means it's more than factory. Red means it's less than factory. So I smoothed the throttle out down here, and it's dumping fuel here. So what else did we do on this? We changed the lower injector balance. So this is basically Up here, the lower injectors are working. Down here, the upper injectors are working. So before it used to be less. So now in that top end, it's just dumping fuel through those upper injectors, which is really kind of what you want. So what else? Yeah, we didn't really do anything else up here. But let's see what this is. Yeah, nope. So anyway, the results speak for themselves. Okay, cool, whatever. So before, first run was 154, second run's 174, so almost 20 horsepower difference. And yeah, so happy to get this guy back out on the road, and I'm sure you'll see him around if you ride around at Indy. Other than that, if you want your bike to go fast and you want to keep up with the fast boys, you're going to need an ECU flash, because most of these bikes have problems in there that keep you slow. You're not slow, the bike's slow.